Good morning, Grand Rising. Welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman. It's always a joy for me to be here with you on Friday mornings and share with you what is coming through for me as I awaken in the morning and what is the universe today speaking about and wanting us to tap into. So today's talk is called Universal Flow is Calling. And it's interesting how, as I say, when I arise in the morning, I don't really have a plan. I trust that I will be guided and that the messages that come through will be beneficial to everyone. Right now, we are going through some amazing challenges, I will call them. But there are also opportunities. There are also opportunities for us to shift and change in ways that we may not ever have thought of in any shape, manner, or form before, because we're tapping into higher frequencies of intelligence, really. It's our own intelligence, but it's from higher dimensions of ourselves. And it's flowing nonstop. It may be a little erratic at times. It may be a little frightening at times. But the guidance that I receive is to just relax and know that in those moments of high energy where we might not feel comfortable, to do whatever is necessary to calm ourselves down and come back to center. Um, Getting out on Mother Earth and walking in nature and embracing nature is one of the greatest centering processes we can do. And just take that time, be kind enough to ourselves to take that time to pay attention to what we're experiencing energetically, emotionally, energetic in motion. Um, and know that you're not alone. Know that what you're going through is specific to you, but it's also part of a greater collective that everybody is going through. We're just not all perhaps going through the same thing at the same moment, on the same day, etc. So with that said, good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Pamela. Blessings, Margaret, Suprava, Rosina, Bethany. Um, thank you all for showing and appearing. And your comments are really encouraged. I honestly ask that you speak from your heart in those comments because they're you expressing yourself from that higher self, and you are sending that energy into the world. And that which we send into the world comes back to us. And this is part of what the message is that we are these radiant fields of universal flow. And so the first question I had this morning, what does universal flow mean to you? And that was to me. What does universal flow mean to me? And then the comment was, if anything at all. So perhaps you're not interested. Perhaps it sounds out of your reach or capability to comprehend or understand. Know that right now the universe, on that which we call creator and God and all of these things that form that universal flow, are really deeply in touch with us and guiding us through a period of humanity that will be spoken about in history books in the future. And so, in that respect, right now, what we're doing will still live in the future, even though we may have left these physical bodies and no longer here. And this brings it to this importance, this moment of importance, that what we do and how we react to each other and how we embrace each other in a flow of cohesiveness, why it's so important right now. And the guides are telling all of us to step into who we truly are. What does that mean? And if we read the history of humanity, we have a lot of different meanings of who are we. We have many different deities that we have put names to, faces to, teachings to. Yet all of it is oneness. All of it comes from a primal source. And just as each one of us are uniquely different from each other, we are all human beings. We all have the same physical aspects. We all have the same chemistry. We all have the same. It's all part of a larger body of beingness, a field of beingness. And that universal flow is actually the energy that supports all of this, out of which we have come and entered into these physical bodies, which have grown from a tiny fetus in our mother's wombs to these physical bodies that we are now having this conversation in. And the message for me lately has been clear, is to honor this physical beingness, this vehicle, and know that what's happening in the world is, a lot of it is not, how would I say, in a kind way, it's not beneficial to this physical body. And it doesn't matter what it is. Right now, we are dealing with this virus that's taking a large amount of life away and causing a great deal of suffering, and emotional suffering as well as physical suffering. And know that this is not a curse. This is not something that a punishment. It is a natural process of life. Viruses existed here on this planet, I'm told, before we as humans appeared on this planet. That it's a form of life. It's not in our best interest, obviously. It is only interested in its own survival. And if you look at that, we're not that much different, are we? We are only interested in our own survival. When we look around the world at what the damage has occurred to this world, the physical damage to this planet at the hands and minds of these physical human bodies, we have to stop for a moment and say, wait a minute. Earth, the planet, is part of my larger body. And why am I so hell-bent on destroying that, thinking that that's going to be beneficial to me and my future generations? It isn't. And we know that now. And it's becoming clearer and clearer every day. And yet we have groups of people who are still holding on to old ideologies and old um, purposes because this is all they know. This is what their whole life has been about. This is uh, their teachings. This is from their ancestral teachings, from their religious belief systems, from their political teachings, from their community, uh, are supporting this behavior of destruction. It's like a river. When you disrupt the flow of a river with a dam, yes, it may create hydroelectric power, but what did it destroy in order to achieve that? And when you look at anything that we have done where the destructive outcome of what we have done outweighs the beneficial uh, access to comfort and ease for our living, we have honestly sacrificed ourselves. It's basically what we've done. So, with that introduction to today, the trust is one of the words that came up this morning. I pulled a little tiny Gabriel message card, and it reads, "Trust in the universal flow of good, and know there is a creative solution in all situations." So here we are in this situation of a global pandemic. We're in this situation of governments rearranging, reshifting, revying for power and control. We have individuals who are being not fed. We have individuals who are not receiving medical care. This is the situation we're in. We have to trust in the universal flow of good. What is good? Good for me is an extension of the word God. I think somebody mentioned God in here earlier. And what is God but good? It's it's the most beneficial aspect of what we can do. When we align with that word and the emblem and the image of that in any religious nature, we realize that it's a beneficent, it's a gifting and a guidance system. So we have to trust in that universal flow. And I've had to stop and think about how my sense of trust, as well as yours, has been challenged over the past year. And past several years. And if you think back even longer than that, 10 years, 20 years perhaps, how we have been winnowing down to this place of distrust and judgment. And when we come to a place of distrust and judgment of each other, we are living in separation. So many of you know that, I always close with, I love you, I thank you, I respect you, I am you. You are me. We are unity. That's not an idle just phrase that I say. It is the structure, the basic structure of who we are as humanity. I cannot move through this world without being you. And everything you do reflects back on me as to what part of me is doing that or capable of doing that. And if I judge you, I'm judging myself. And if I'm judging myself and I'm judging you, I'm not sending out light. In that moment, what happens is our energy field is diminished. And now our energy field is focused on these judgments that we have about each other and about the situations we're going through. And the more we're distracted, that energy field is distracted into these various avenues of thought. We become weaker and weaker and more susceptible to disease, to injury, to suffering. One of the greatest things we can do for ourselves right now is to call our energy home, home to our hearts. And it's light energy, and bring that light back into our hearts. And even if you don't do anything with it, just allow it to build and feed you as a physical, energetic being. And you don't have to go into who, what, when, where, how. Just call your energy home to your heart. This is your heart center. This is the toroidal field. I'll speak about that shortly. This is the toroidal field of our energy. And it's a double toroidal field system. One is the heart, and then there's a larger one. So, as I began, I questioned, what is this? And I pulled a soul inspiration card by Kalia. And just randomly, just to get some kind of verification of, is this what I'm supposed to be talking about? The flow. What is that? I understand it in my own way. I don't know how to really describe it to somebody else. But what came through was, we are really just calling to ourselves from a much higher level of our multidimensional experience. And this is what the card reads. Amidst all darkness, remember who you are. Even as there will be those who will not see your light, remember who you are. Even as though you may feel at times defeated and depleted, remember who you are. Be thy light and shine then unto others. For as you continue to shine, they too shall remember who they are. Allow that, and that's from Mia Leventhal, who is Kalia. I want you all to think deeply about that who is the light you truly are? And what is that light during this stormy upheaval of existence doing? Take a moment and try to feel the light within you. Now, we think of light as the bright light of above or the sun, but light is energy. It's powerful energy. It's the powerful energy that creates this brightness. Feel the brightness, if you will, within you. Think about yourself. If you were a light bulb, how brilliant would you be? Would you be 40 watts? Would you be 100 watts? Think about that. This is your energy system. This is your light stream. This is your light system. How much light are you radiating in any given moment. And then think about the times in the day where it wanes. Maybe in the morning, it's a little slow, you get a little brighter. Your energy is your light. There's no separation. And we have to come back into knowing that that is our potential. It's our power. It's waiting to be utilized. If we are at a low point, we're going to feel dim, not so bright. We're going to feel more pain. We're going to feel more suffering. The light is still there, but it's not powerful enough to dissipate those energetic feelings. I've spoken before about my own death experience, and we come from light. And when you die, you return to light. There's no physical body. And yet there's peace, there's love, there's light. There is those energies which you not experience outside of them, you actually become them once again. You become whole again. And this is what's important right now, is to live from the heart, which is the generating field of peace, light, and love. How you utilize that, how you focus that, what you do with that is your individual choice. It's your sovereign right to stand and use that in a positive manner. When we use it in a negative manner, what invariably happens is we become depleted. Oh, sure, we can create something out of greed, out of jealousy, out of pain and suffering, but it's limited, and in that process, we immediately suffer. So a lot of our suffering is not caused outside of us. The trigger is around us and always challenging us. It's like the light and the darkness. The darkness is always trying to absorb the light, but the light always wins. And if it doesn't win, then everything doesn't exist anymore. I mean, if we remove the sun, if we totally block the sun, what's going to happen here on planet Earth? Everything we witness here ends. So it's the light that is our sustenance. That light we call God. That light is, when we look at Christ energy, Buddha energy, when we look at the great prophets, the beings, the angels, the saints, the whatever your teachings, your religious teachings have taught you about the benevolent ones. They've been trying to impress upon you that that's you. How do we align with those stories? How do we walk our talk and practice being that? I'm not saying, well, that was so-and-so and that was 100 years ago and that was. No, that is. That has never left. That has never disappeared. That has never been erased. It exists in this moment in your heart. I don't mean to lecture, but I will, because that's what I do. When we look at the suffering around the world, from human death, which we've been overly challenged with over the past year. Okay. We know from this separation, from this isolation, from this being in our house with a mask to cover our face. You can't see our smile. We smile with our eyes, we see that. But you can't have that full energetic connection with another human being. This has diminished our light. Everything that you see in the news, everything that you see that is being just played over and over and over and over again, that's creating fear, is diminishing your light. It's up to us. This is what the message is today. It's up to us. It's up to us to listen to the universe and regain that energetic power, that toroidal field of our heart, and put it into use to help and assist others out of their darkness, out of their suffering. Not by preaching, not by trying to convince somebody of what's right or what's wrong, but through love. By loving them, no matter what they do. We don't have to like what they do. We don't have to preach to them endlessly. It gets old and they shut us off, just like me. If I preach too long, you'll all just leave. I don't blame you. So I try to keep it light. But the message is that we are this light. And we're being called during the stormy upheaval of our existence to come together again in our hearts, in this toroidal field of energy we call our heart. And know that if we let go of a lot of the structures that have brought us to this point in our evolution, we'll be able to move forward more quickly and more lightly and more happily. In bringing up all of this, when we look at the deaths, the fact of death is, human death is right now, even with this virus that's raging through the world, more people die of heart-related issues. It is the greatest cause of death. And what is it about? It's about this toroidal field not being able to generate energy. I don't care how you look at it. You can look at it physically, you can look at it metaphysically. When this heart stops, we leave the building. Period. Doesn't matter why, doesn't matter how. So I want to bring people back into this awareness of the power that we need to come back into is the health of our heart, the health of this energy field. And it's an electromagnetic energy field. It's a torus that resides within a larger torus, which extends, if you take your arm's length, that outer torus of energy that we are is even beyond that. It goes, I think it's like 8 to 10 feet out from us. So when we engage with somebody walking down the street, when they say 6 feet apart, right? What are they saying? 6 feet. They want you to be as far away from each other so your energetic fields are not connecting. And when that happens, when you can't see the smile on somebody's face, when you can't be in the energy field of somebody else, you will suffer. And it's not good for your heart. I want you to think about this because it's about energy. It's all about energy. And you, as the light being that you are, need to come back and redirect your energy fields to be whole and healthy once again. There's 1,000 different ways out there. But just remember that this is what this is what the universe is telling us, is to take care of our light, take care of our light and our love. And when we do, it starts transmitting the powerful energy of resurrection. That's a word that just came in. Resurrection. We will resurrect, as in the resurrection of Jesus, as in the resurrection of other beings who were lifted out of what was considered the end of them and back into their eternal beingness. So we are power. We are powerful far beyond what we've been taught. We are more powerful than what we've been led to believe. We are more powerful, and we're getting more powerful every single minute, because the universe is sending the energy of transmutation, of resurrection, of evolution to us. It doesn't respond to a leader of a country. It doesn't belong to, it doesn't subscribe to some college. It has no contract with humans. We are part of that. And that's what we need to remember, is to remember yourself and realize yourself as this powerful vortex of energy that you can shift and change. And not only in doing that, you will reflect the whole universe in its full energetic radiance to everyone around you. And you may not be liked for that, because it's foreign. It's foreign to us. We don't understand it. It's scary. That person has, how many times, that person has way too much energy. I can't deal with that. So we learn, to come back into our heart, come back into this, and restructure this energy field. And from there, start to operate from that field. Not from this one. This is just a generator. It's just it's a machine. And a very wonderful machine. But this is your energy field. Your heart is your energy field. So we open the minds, allow the energy to flow, and they'll come in as light waves of crystalline energy, which is sent from the greater universe, that which we call God. It's all energy. And this is how we tap into this powerful self and free ourselves from bondage. That's just coming through. Free ourselves from the bondage that we have placed ourselves in over thousands of years. We no longer need to do this. This is the message of today. We need to set free, set them free. We are the ones who are going to set ourselves free. And as we do that, and know that our concept of power has been corrupted and it's no longer sustainable, just like planet Earth, if we keep going, it's not going to be sustainable. Well, we can leave what is no longer in resonance with our future generations behind. Let it go. All this stuff that's coming up within you, all of these old traumas that you're dreaming about coming to in your dream time, people coming into your dreams from your childhood, from God knows where, and you wake up and you say, what the hell was that all about? They're coming forward to be released. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go, because they're stealing your energy. They're energy vampires, if you will. Come back into the heart. Bless them. Release them. Say, I don't need to deal with you anymore because you're a drain on my energy field. And when we come back into that that power, that place of power within our heart and within our toroidal fields, everything will change without trying to change it. I apologize sometimes that I go so long with the stuff, but it's what's coming through. It's what I bring through for each of you. And I love you dearly, and bless you all for showing up. And if you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too. I'm just expressing what's coming from me. And I want each one of you, as I scroll down here, to know that each one of you are beautiful souls and beings of light and love. And the most important message that I can give to any and all of you is to, when we come to that place of not feeling well, when we come to that place of not feeling well in any shape, manner, or form, do something nice for you. Take a little time to pamper you, to do what makes you feel better. Everyone around us has an idea of how to make us better. But if we listen very closely, we will get the message of what it is we need to do. We may not like it. We may not like it. But the answer is within us. It's not being broadcast on that screen. What's broadcast on that screen is for one purpose only. That's to make money. That's to keep a world that's based on a corporate structure alive, not humans. And if you remember that, without judgment, just know that I am responsible for my well-being. And I have the power to change not only what's within me, but what's around me. Because I have 8 to 10 feet of space to do it in. whether I'm in a crowded auditorium or whether I'm standing on the top of the mountain. That's how huge your energy field is. That's all. Just take a deep breath. Knowing that as we come together from different parts of the world, from different teachings, different religions, different ideologies, different educations, know that each one of us has this heart. That doesn't pay attention to anything that we think or we do. It will react to what we think and we do. But its purpose is to generate light and love. This week, the only thing I can ask of anybody is to try to be the light and love that you understand. If you don't feel it very much, find a nice quiet spot in Mother Nature and start talking to her. Start talking to Mother Nature. And as you look around, she will answer. Not in the way we're communicating, but she will communicate with you. Because just as she is a vital part of our existence, we also are a vital part of her existence. And I'm going to read a poem I wrote yesterday for the Global Heart Team as we sent love around the world in alignment with nature's coherence. Radiating love, connecting with nature's coherence. Walking along the path to the river, all of nature is scattered in layers, which can remind us of the generations of humanity. Yet each layer of the forest floor is alive and supporting the one before it and the one after it. Let us be a part of that supportive community that offers all that it has, regardless of who walks in the open spaces. Let us embrace everyone with an environment of love, not just a moment. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. And we are these amazing toroidal fields of energy. But we have been told we're almost worthless. What do you want to believe? Thank you all for speaking in the sidelines. I'm sorry I didn't get much time to address anything there, but I will read them later and I will address that, and you know I will. And I just send you love and peace. And may your week be filled with amazing moments of remembering who you are. Love you all. Thank you all. Have a great week. We'll see you next Friday.